नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। वन्दे देवमुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवाहननयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनार्दनवरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रीराम राम रघुनंदन राम राम श्रीराम राम भरताग्रज राम राम श्रीराम राम रणकर्कश राम राम श्रीराम राम शरणं भव राम राम। लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरन्तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। प्रेम से बोलो श्री गणपति भगवान की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की, सिया भज रामचंद्र की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो। और कोई न खेवन हारा हो, और कोई न खेवन हारा हो, फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करे, फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे। पूरन कर दे उनकी आशा, पूरन कर दे उनकी आशा, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, फिर जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, राम राम हरे हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। बोले श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। गरुड़ जी महाराज की जय। Jai Sita Ram, everybody. Good to see you on a nice Wednesday evening here in the temple on our first session of Garud Puran. On behalf of our temple, I'd like to welcome all of you, and we hope and pray that all of you are well, and those online as well, who's always been in support to our Katha. This is the Garud Puran Katha, which we started many years ago in Melanie Drive. At one point, I used to get away to India during Pitru Paksh because it was, slow time for the Pandits, or at least I used to make it slow. And then we started this. So, it's a good way really to keep us all connected, keep us grounded, and it allows us to not travel too much into this time. Pitru Paksh is such a beautiful time for Hindus, and we are trying every year to remove the stigma, because there are certain stigmas that is attached to Pitru Paksh that we all are aware of. So many things that we are aware of that people say you cannot do during Pitru Paksh, you cannot do during when somebody dead, and all these kind of things. So we started this beautiful Garud Puran Katha, and every year I try to keep it as simple as possible, because it is my opinion, being a priest in the community for so many years, serving so many families in death, in life, in sickness, in misery, in joy, in pleasures. You get to experience what people go through in their life. And I think it's important to keep the Garud Puran simple and practical, as a word I'm using for practical. Because I tell you, there are two times in a person's life. There are two times in a person's life when they are confused the most. Do we know when? You know, this is an interactive session. Garud Puran is more information and talking than lecturing. Next week we've got the entertainment and so on. So I know I have a nice backbench crowd here, and the folks are very far from me. So I would like you to answer some questions. As of tomorrow, we have to move up these chairs. Move up these chairs, you know. So when I ask questions, I'm not going to hear whispers. I want to hear the answers. Or maybe we can move up the chair tonight and get rid of tomorrow, because tomorrow may never come. We're talking about Garud Puran here. Now they're looking at me like, Pandit, we have to do work now. You're asking us to get up and move chair. And, yeah, all right. But I want it to be very interactive. What are the two times in a person's life when they're the most confused? Huh? Married, wedding house, and death, funeral. Most confused, I am telling you this. Now, the book didn't say this, by the way. I am telling you this, and you all know this. The most confusing time is when somebody's getting married. They're not confused about the reception. Hello? Can we get that straight? There's no dispute of how to do a reception and what a table or what kind of napkin you have to have, and does it have to match the tablecloth. There's no confusion there. The confusion is when? The Hindu wedding. Starting from the Shrad. Pandit, why we got to do Shrad during wedding ceremony? No. Why we got to Satnarayan Katha, Matikor? What is all this for? What we got to do? How much pan leaf have we got to put down? So I decided to write a little book on Matikor. Matikor. You know, if you write book, there's not enough to write. You got to quit your job and write book. How to dig doti. You know that many people don't know how to dig doti. Right? You have to depend on somebody who know and somebody who they're beside them and tell them that so. So people are confused. They don't know how to dig doti, how to do matikor, who got to put the drape on the head. We don't know that because it's very confusing. And you don't want to even talk about a wedding. When the wedding come, oh boy, who a poor, who a daddy, who a bougie, who a dabbit, all that kind of stuff that. Confusing as confusing can be, wedding house. And that is because our Hindu community, we're learning every day, but we have to learn more about the important things because it will happen one day. If you have a child, you're going to get married, hopefully, and you may want to, learn about these things. I think every lady should learn about the Matikor thing. This winter, that's my winter project, by the way. When all of you are going to be busy shopping, I'm going to use my winter project to write about the Matikor. What should you do during Matikor? Second time when people are very confused, obviously, emotionally and otherwise, is when somebody dies. When somebody dies in the family, I mean, come on, whose family has death not fall upon? Right? Whose family has death not fall upon? Me? I lost a lot of people. You've lost a lot of people. Whose family has death not fall upon? When it comes in your family, there is a lot of confusion. Lots and lots of confusion. Because every family has an uncle or an auntie or a chacha or a chachi that knows something more than the pandit. And you know when that happens, disaster. Because you are in an emotional state. You're grieving. I mean, you didn't lose your wallet here. You didn't lose your car key. We lose our minds when those things happen. You lost somebody. And now you got to deal with everybody who has a rule. I've made it very, very clear to anyone that I'm serving. I tell people, I am your servant. Pandit Harda is your servant. comes to you with no cost, no predetermined fees, no cost, no nothing, time, whatever you need, I have one condition. You must listen to me. That's it. You owe me no money, you however have one condition, you must listen to me. But the other pandit said, go with the other pandit. They come, free, no problem. But my charge, he says, so they'll charge you to do the funeral for you. Just, no problem, I have no problem. If you're gonna require my help, you must listen to me. And you know why I say that? Anybody knows why? Because you got to give me answers. Why? Why do I say that? Uncle Bill, why do I say that? Because I want to help them. I don't want them to be listening to 50 people and everybody who... I want them to listen to one person, because one person is who you should be listening to. Death. So this couple days, we're going to talk about some of the myths of funerals and death and all this kind of thing. Now, after the Katha and thing like that, if you want to have a little Katha with me also, we can have another Katha on the side. Because tomorrow, I want to use this time to talk about things that people are interested in, right? Garud Puran is a very interactive thing. So if you have a question in mind, I mean, I don't expect you to put up your hand when I'm talking. It's not a classroom. But afterwards, talk to me about it. Tomorrow, I'll discuss it in the Katha, because a lot of people's minds are confused. But let's not get away from the fact that it is a very important thing to learn. You know, when we sit at our table downstairs and our home and our Thanksgiving dinner, we never discuss one thing. What is the one thing we don't discuss? Death. We don't discuss death because we feel that if we talk about the thing, it won't come quick. So I sit to my friends and say, man, let's talk, about death and things. No, Pandit, the more you talk about it, the more you can come. I said, I have a fantastic idea, man. Let's talk about money. Because if that is work, if you talk about money, the more you talk about it, the more you can come. They said, no, only death works like that. I said, all right. You see? Because we don't talk about it a lot. We don't talk about it a lot. We live in a very, very confused way. And when it hits us, that's it. You want to give up everything and you want to run away. In this part of the Garud Puran, I'll talk about the basics. Today I'll talk about Garudji when he came, what happened. Tomorrow we talk about the ceremonies, the 10-day and the 13-day. We got a big confusion community where who do 12-day, who do 13-day, who do 10-day. Does anybody here know who is a Mahapatra? I'll tell you who's a Mahapatra as well tomorrow, because our people are very confused. What's a Mahapatra, Pandit? They say you gotta get Mahapatra for the 10-day, and what is? I'll tell you what that is. I'll tell you everything you need to know. And even if I didn't mention it, you can ask me, and I'll read to you from the book, because I can easily make it up to make you happy. But we're here to learn. This is a learning exercise, and I would like all of you to learn something before you leave these 3 sessions. And most importantly, what are some of the little things you can do in the period of Pitri Paksh? Because we all want to do something, right? So we're going to learn about that today, but before we do that, there's a beautiful song. What is this world that we're seeing? This world we're seeing a very different picture in this world. We're seeing a very different picture in this world. And what is this picture we're seeing?
हमने जग की अजब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमें जग की अजब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। ये प्रभु जी अद्भुत, ये प्रभु के अद्भुत जागीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमें हंसते मुख रे चार मिले, दुखिया रे 6,000 मिले। हमें हंसते मुख रे चार मिले, दुखिया रे 6,000 मिले। यह सुख के सोग पीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमें जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। दो एक सुखी यह लाखों में, आंसू है करोड़ों आँखों में। दो एक सुखी यह लाखों में, आंसू है करोड़ों आँखों में। हमने गिन गिन हर तकदीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमें जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। ये प्रभु के अद्भुत जागीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की। हमें जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। We see a very unusual picture in this world. The bhajan is saying, where ek hasta hai, one person is smiling, and for every person that is smiling, 10 rote hai, 10 of them are crying. 10 of them are crying. We have also seen the magnificent creation of the Lord. What do we do with it? Prabhu, hame haste mukhre char mile, dukhiare chehre 1000 mile. Oh Lord, here we have seen 100% more pain than happiness. We have found smiling faces, but we have also seen thousands of sad ones. Prabhu, help us to deal with losses in life. Help us to deal with losses in life. Death, of course, is a big loss, regardless of what losses you have had or experienced in life. Death is the biggest one. Now, before we go to Garud Puran, let us talk about the nephew of Garudji. You all have to know that Garud, he has a bit of a history. Who was he? His father was the name Kashyap. His father's name was Kashyap, Garud. His mother's name was Vinata. He had 2 mothers. His real mother, his birth mother, was named Vinata. And he had another mother by the name of Kadru. Vinata, his mother, she had unusual son. I mean, can you imagine? She's a lady, but she had a winged son with wings. He was a very, very obedient son to his mother. However, Kadru, who is Garud's stepmom, as you want to call her, she had a son by the name of Arun. Arun is the horse guy. He controls the horse of Lord Surya, the driver. No? He's a charioteer of Lord Surya. Arun's son is Jatayu.
All of you know Jatayu in the Ramcharitmanas. So Jatayu is the nephew of Garud. So Jatayu has come from good stock. When Jatayu, my friends, all of you know the story of Jatayu. When Mother Sita was being captured by Ravan, Jatayu came to her rescue. And Jatayu, when Mother Sita was being harassed by Ravan, we should never stand to see women especially being taken advantage of in our lifetime. Do what you can to prevent this from happening. Jatayu, when he saw Mother Sita being captured by Ravan, Jatayu flew in and says, "My daughter, I have come to your rescue." Sita ji looks at the big vulture and says, "What? A vulture has called me daughter?" Jatayu, you know why Jatayu called Mother Sita a daughter? Because, not a story, once upon a time, this great Dashrath, who is the king of Ayodhya, he went to Shani. And Shani, Dashrath has a big chariot, could go anywhere. And when he went to Shani Dev, he went to far places. Shani, which is the middle front of the grahas, Shani always has his eyes 3/4 way closed. Because if he opens his eyes, it's going to just vanish and burn everything. So whenever someone comes in front of him, they have to stay above him. Right? Shani has to stay ground, and they have to go, because the bottom part of his eyes are open. So you can't go beneath, you'll get burned. Raja Dashrath went on top, and Raja Dashrath met Shani Dev, and whatever, they had a discussion. But as Raja Dashrath was going away with his chariot, and the chariot flew beneath the eyes of Shani. And of course, the eyes that were open put the entire chariot on fire. His rath was on fire. So Dashrath is in the air, his chariot is on fire. But there came a big vulture, saw the burning chariot. That vulture name was Jatayu. Jatayu, he flew and he rescued Dashrath. He brought him to Ayodhya back. Dashrath says, "What? I'm the greatest king on this planet. And my life was in danger, and today a vulture had to save me. Jatayu, what can I do for you? I will give you plots and plots of land in the city of Ayodhya. Demand anything of me." Raja Dashrath, when he gave this request, Jatayu says, "My dear friend, I'm a vulture. When I'm around, the people don't like. I look at my size. He was bigger than the airplanes. That it's not right for me to be in the cities. I will go and live in the forest. But today, since I've rescued you and you've offered me this, I will consider you my brother." So that day, Raja Dashrath and Jatayu became close. That is why when Sita Ma was being captured, Jatayu says, "I will save you, my daughter," because automatically Sita Ma becomes the daughter. When Ravan cut his wings, he lay there and he was bleeding. And then Ramji Bhagwan says,
राम कहा तनु राखहु ताता, मुख मुस्काई कहे ते ही बाता, जाकर नाम मरत मुख आवा, धमो मुकुट होई श्रुति गावा, सोमम लोचन गोचर आँखें, राखों देह ननात के ही खागे, जल भरी नयन कहाई रघुराई, तात कर्म निजते गति पाई.
Jatayu, he was bleeding, and the Lord put his head in his lap, and he says, "Jatayu, I'm going to give you life back. You cannot die. You cannot die." Jatayu says, my Lord, no, I will have to go because you're standing in front of me, my Lord. I'm guaranteed to go to heaven. Jatayu became an angel and flew to the heavens. Ram Bhagwan says, Jatayu, please do one favor for me. When you get to the heavens, please don't tell my father about my struggles. Don't tell my father about my struggles, because if my father becomes sad, I will not be able to get his blessings. Do you all see how important it is to do Pitru Paksh or to observe Pitru Paksh the proper way? Because when we keep our Pitris happy, we, of course, experience that happiness. You know what Ram Bhagwan did? Ram Bhagwan went and did the Shrad of Jatayu. He performed the Shrad ceremony of Jatayu, that great vulture. And then again later, when Ram Bhagwan met the brother of Jatayu, whose name was Sampati, Sampati went to Bhagwan Ram to offer Tilanjali for his brother. This is the importance of Shrad in our Satya Sanatan Dharma. Ramji Bhagwan did Shrad for an animal. So how important it is, we are still trying to understand that. So Jatayu's uncle was the great Garud. Garud was the chariot of Lord Vishnu. Whenever Vishnu Bhagwan wants to go somewhere, Garud would be the one. One day Bhagwan Vishnu says, Garud, you need to take a vacation. Garud says, Prabhu, vacation? Where am I going to go? He says, go to the heavens, go to the earth, and go to hell. Go to the three regions. Patal jaye, Swarg jaye, Bhulok jaye, go all these places. And when you come back, you can tell me how your vacation is, na? You'll tell me how it is. And that Garuji he went on a vacation now, he's going to observe.
Om Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Govind Hare Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Gopal Hare Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Govind Hare Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Gopal Hare Govind Hare Jai Jai Gopal Hare Govind Hare Jai Jai Gopal Hare. Om Kimartham putra pautrascha tasya tishtanti chapyagat Kimartham ditaye danam godanam api veshwarah Bandhu mitrant mitrascha kshamapayoti tat katham Tilalokam hiranyam cha karpasam lavanam taya Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Govind Hare Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Gopal Hare Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Govind Hare Narayan Narayan Jai Jai Gopal Hare Govind Hare Jai Jai Gopal Hare Govind Hare Jai Jai Gopal Hare Govind Hare Jai Jai Gopal Hare.
When you go on a vacation, you either come back more relaxed than you were, or you come back more stressed out than you were. There's only two feelings you can have. Garuji went to the heavens. And when he went to the heavens, he saw the deities, he saw the Gandharvas. Wow, everybody was happy, things were going right, good. He went to Patal, hell. And when he went there, he saw lots of punishment. And he says, okay, this is understandable. He saw different levels of Patal. He said, this is understandable. People do wrong things, they have to pay for it. But when he came to earth, he could not find any peace. He could not find Shanti anywhere. So what he did, he returned back to Vishnu Bhagavan. Vishnu Bhagavan asked Garud, Garudji, tell me about your experience, about your vacation. I want to know all about it. Garudji went, big vulture, huge vulture. And he sat in front of Bhagavan. And he says, Prabhu, I understand in heaven, I understand in Patal. Everybody know Patal, right? Patal means hell. But I don't want to keep saying that all the time. The energies is not good. So he said, Prabhu, I know what happens in the heaven. I know what happens in Patal. But Prabhu, on the earth, Bhulok, I do not understand certain things. I understand when I see people enjoying, people have no arguments about enjoying. They know how to do that well. But my Lord, people don't know, he says. He says people know how to live, but people don't know how to die. Die is a science. Death is a science. Bhagwan says, Garudji, please tell me all the questions. I usually get a little bit of flare up, so I'm going to go away. Garud, tell me about the questions that you have. Garudji says, Prabhu, pretakale kasmanyam asmachalam mukhe katham. I want to know, O Lord, about death. Tell me all that you can tell me, my Lord, about death and about dying. My Lord, I have seen the mritak, the corpse, and I don't understand what people are doing with it. I want you to explain to me, O Lord. Why? When a person dies, my Lord, they tie the toes together. You know that? They have to tie the toes together. Prabhu, why are the 5 jewels kept in different parts of the body, my Lord? Why is the darbha, why is the kush grass placed at a certain way beneath the corpse when they die? Prabhu, why do they give so many gifts? Gift of a cow, as example. Why do relatives and friends stand to forgive him or the person who died? What is the purpose of offering gingerly seeds? Till. What is the purpose, O Lord, of giving dan, especially salt? Salt is a very important thing to give in Pitru Paksh. Why are the Brahmins fed? Why are the Brahmins given dakshina? Having died, my Lord, where does the Atma go? I see some people die naturally through sickness. I see some people die slowly, and I saw people taking their own life. Prabhu, can you tell me about the different types of death? And can you also tell me what happens to the Atma after they die? Vishnu Bhagavan is sitting. He said, Garud says, Prabhu, he has other questions. I'm giving you the important one. Why is the Yam Suktam recited? You know, like we have the Devi Suktam, Durga Suktam. These are Vedic things. That's not plaything. Durga Suktam for Durga Ma. We have Medha Suktam for Mother Saraswati from the Vedas. We have Shri Suktam for Mahalakshmi. We have Rudra Suktam for Shivji. We have Purush Suktam for Vishnu Bhagavan. These are all Suktams. These are from the Vedas. All of it is chanted in this temple. It's not plaything stuff. It's a serious thing, chantings. Just like you have the Suktams from the Lord, for all the Lords. Prabhu, why is the Yam Suktam? All of you know who is Yamdev? Yamdev is the god of death. He's Kala. He's the Lord of death. When our time comes, he comes. And no matter what you're doing, he takes you. Prabhu, tell me why the Yam Suktam is chanted. Saturday morning, we'll be chanting the Yam Suktam to appeal to Lord Yamdev to release all our pitris, yours and my pitris and the ancestors. This thing is supposed to be chanted at funerals as well, but who knows? Why is it chanted, my Lord? And also, Prabhu, tell me, why is a lamp nishayam diyate deepo yadadavyam dehinam dahedakam kimartham cha janevraha? Tell me, my Lord, why is a diya lit? I've seen people lit diyas for the full 13th day, he's saying, and some people light for the whole year. Why is a diya lit? Why is water offered in the name of the deceased? It is Pitri Paksha. I'm sure you all are doing in your own way a little bit of something to your Pitris. Why do you do this? During the 13-day ceremonies, this is supposed to be done every morning. Tilanjali is offered, water with black till. Garud says, Prabhu, I've seen this happening on the earth. Why is this happen? Why does this happen? What is the meaning of till? How important is black till for pujas? Prabhu, why should pindas be offered? Katham deya pitrubhyascha. Why should pindas be offered? How are the gifts to be given? And also, what should be given as well? I've seen so much. Prabhu, what is taken on the 10th day along with the mourners? What do they do? Oh Lord, I want to hear all of this. I've seen it, but I'm confused, my Lord. And tell me, the pinda given on the 12th day, Tede lekam chapi dadhu skula majayate. The pindas given on the 10th day, what is done with it? What is done on the 12th day? Please tell this to me. What is done on the 13th day? He makes all this observation. And the last thing he says, Prabhu, Tesham doshasya vaichitram mrityur gocharatam. He says, my Lord, mrityu, tell me, O Lord, what is death? What is death? I want to know what death is. And why is it that people have to what? Die. Why is it that people have to die? Those are the last things he asked Lord Vishnu. We will try to answer few of them today. But before we do that, let us not forget, my friends, Gita. We haven't restarted our Gita classes yet. We have to do that after the dinner, but that's another thing. Jatasyahi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Krishna Bhagavan explained this in the Gita. Arjun says, Prabhu, why do people have to die? Lord Krishna says, Arjun, jatasyahi, as long as a person is born, dhruvo mrityur, they have to die. When they die, nobody knows. Don't let any astrologer fool you and tell you anything. One astrologer been open book for me and tell me I will die at 35. I said, good job. I'm still going. Nobody can tell you when you die. Nobody can tell you how long you'll live. Astrology is a very good thing, but it is made to correct certain things in life when you're doing your best. Don't depend on anything other than God for help in your life. Krishna Bhagavan says, Jatasyahi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha. As long as there's birth, there has to be death. As long as there's death, there has to be birth. It's a cycle. It's a cycle that has to happen. What we have to focus on is life itself. So Krishna Bhagavan, Vishnu Bhagavan is going to now answer some of the questions of Garudji about all these things that we see. And of course, I'm sure you have a lot of questions as well.
Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. 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 जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल। साधु पृष्टं त्वया भद्रां मानुष्यनां हिताय वै शृणुध्यां वहितो भूत्वा सत्विर्मेधे विधेहिका सम्यं अग्निर्भिरे हृतं श्रुतिस्मृतिमुदात्मना यत्र दृष्टुं सुरैसेन्द्रै योगिभेयानकान्धके। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम गुह्यदा ह्यातवं तच्च नरख्यातं कस्य चित्तवः भक्त्यस्वं हि महाभागा कौन्तेयं भ्रमीयतो। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। Bhagwan Vishnu says, Garud, you've asked me all the right questions. I will now give you the answers for everything that happens after death. In Bhagavatam, when we read outside, we told you all the things that are supposed to happen before death. Live nice with people. Do good things. Bring joy to people's life. Color people's life with good things, not darkness. Bring happiness to yourself. All the things we talk about, how to live. That is Bhagavad Katha. Garud Puran is what to do after you die. And so, Bhagwan Vishnu says, you've asked me all about after death. Let me explain all of that to you. Garud, first of all, why are the toes tied? You went to the earth and you saw the toes tied up. When people die, one of the things we do is tie the toes together. When the soul, the Atma, exits the body, it's not a pleasant thing. When the Atma exits the body, imagine the Atma wants to stay in the body to enjoy, because when it leaves this body, it cannot enjoy anything, right? It cannot enjoy. So when the soul comes out of the body, it does not hesitate. It wants to go back inside. It fights to go back in the body. And that is why, as soon as possible when a person dies, we should do our best, to the best of our ability, to cremate that body. We must do the best of our ability to cremate that body. As soon after the person dies, listen, whoever wants a visa and passport and all this kind of thing, you have to be sensitive. My little principle in my personal life, not yours. Listen, if you've seen and lived nice with people during the whole life, when they were living, when they die, you ask Bhagwan to take care of their Atma. If you're there, do your best. But as soon as possible when a person dies, closest as possible to death, do their cremation. Do you know in India today, if you go to places like Varanasi and so, I'm telling you, I experience these things. Not death, I've seen it. But what happens with the bodies? You know, in Manikarnika Ghat is a place where they cremate the body in Varanasi. There are only two places in this world where cremation is done 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's a place called Manikarnika Ghat, where Manikarnika, the ear of Mother Sati fell 24/7, and another place in Nepal. Those two places, the only place. When a person dies, you know what happens? They call a set of people. If you go to India, I guess you can't go now because you can't get a visa, thanks to the PM.
But if you go there and you take a sail, a boat, and you're rowing through, they will show you there's a part where the head person of the ghat lives. He's like a king, the head-born man, right? Cremation, what they do, they come to the home on the same day. They take the body, they do Panditas don't do nothing there. You take the body and they take it to the Ganga. They dock it in the Ganga, the same Ganga that we go and take bath in. They dock it right in there. They place it on the pyre, scratch the match, do some puja and thing like that. Gone. Same day. Now what will happen? You don't got to book appointment and so. I have seen this there. I've done some sadhana and some tapasya there. If you were at Manikandika Ghat, sometimes there's a lineup, right? There's a lineup. People come, have appointment. They come, you got to fill out form and put deposit and all. You get all that. Come, but nicely done. They're very nicely done. They have it there, and they sit down and they wait for the turn. People then bring it, dip it in the ghat, put it on the pyre, do the pujas, cremate the body. When the body is cremated, as soon as possible, then the soul is not tormented. The Atma is not tormented. Because the more longer you keep that body, the more the soul will linger over it, the more the Atma will cry over it, and so on. So you cremate the body on the same day. Here it is not possible, because to get an appointment alone is a whole different thing. But my advice to you is to cremate the body as soon as possible. So why do they tie the toes? They tie the toes because when the leg is open like this, the body is lying like this, there is something called the Mooladhara. The Mooladhara is the root chakra, which is a little below the spine. The soul, that is an entry point for the soul to get back into the body. You don't want that. So they close the toes up like this, so the Mooladhara right there is closed up. So the soul cannot interfere with the body or try to get in back again. There's a little bit of tantric practices on that as well, but they tie the toes up. Guruji Bhagwan felt, Prabhu, thank you. Now you explain that, I know. So Prabhu, tell me now, why do they offer till? This black till that they offer, what is that? Why is it spread around the body and so? Mama swedasma bhutanam tilasyasha pavikramaha asura danava daitya vidravanti tilevatam. The sesame seed, not the sesame seed bagel, the sesame seed, right? The sesame one was being done for the Pitris. They were not receiving their offerings. So the demons are very clean. They don't like, they go at places where it's clean and they occupy there. So Bhagwan Vishnu, from his perspiration, he created the till. Asura Danava Daitya. And the till can destroy all evil spirits. That is why when the Panditji, Tilasya Soma Devana, when the Panditji starts the puja, he takes a black till and he sprinkles it not only on the pindas or on the milk and so on, he sprinkles it in all the puja sarjam. A little bit he sprinkles. And around the puja vedi, there is a process in the funeral where you protect the puja vedi. The Panditji sprinkles the till in the rice, and it is offered different direction to protect the puja vedi, because all of them want a piece of it. All the unwanted energies, they want a piece of what is going on. You don't want that. You want your shraddha to be done with peace. So Garudji was told that the black till, the purpose of the black till is to avoid all the negative, evil energies and to let only positive energy. It is okay to sprinkle a little till even in the casket. Very important to do that as well. And so he explained that to him. Now what happens? Someone dies. In Canada, when someone dies, do you know what is the first thing to do? Right? I want to tell all of you this. I have seen enough to know that when a person dies, especially an elder of the family, the confusion that goes on is so much. I think it is okay for us to talk about these things, right? Let's take out you out of the picture. Let's put me in the picture, because I don't want to talk about you. Okay, something happened, you're going to say me talk about you, and then quicker you're gone. Let's talk about me. If something should happen to me tomorrow, my wife knows what I have to wear. The clothes is there already. You know, one of the most challenging things today when a person dies, do you know what it is? Correct. We did not care what they wore when they're alive, but when they're dead, every picnic want to buy sherwani for their daddy, and every mother want to buy a garara for their mother. And then the discussion becomes, what color should they wear? Mommy be like yellow. No, mommy be like purple. No, me no, mommy like pink. So what kind of, do you know, all that stuff doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What you wear, what you don't wear, it doesn't matter. Your corpse sitting there, ready to be disposed. The only thing that matters is that one suitcase that you're carrying back. Not too long ago, they used to allow 2 suitcases in the airline. Now they get it right. You can only carry back 1 suitcase. 1 suitcase. And that suitcase that you're carrying back is a suitcase of our karmas. 1 suitcase. You're not carrying back gyan, you're not carrying knowledge, you're not carrying back beauty, you're not carrying back nothing. You carry back 1 suitcase. And if you want to carry back more, you got to pay. 1 suitcase of karmas. So what you wear doesn't matter. What color you wear doesn't matter. How heavy the garara is doesn't matter. I was in Guyana last August. Boy, Skelden, we were shopping. I took my sister for, buy little thing and so on. Uncle Maya Skelden, you know what I talk about? I see this family come and they bought this beautiful lehenga, heavy. The thing probably cost a lot of $1,000. Well, I know how much it costs. So I asked people, you got a Mata Durga Murti and thing, Rata Komp and so on, you dress up Mata. Because if I have something like that, goes on her right away. We only give her the best. Right away. No, your mother died. You're going to burn this thing? Yes, burn it. Because we want to send off our mother like a queen. I said, wow, I hope you were treating your mother like a queen when she was alive. Because we all want to send off to, wash out little guilt and thing. But hopefully you treat your mother like a queen when they're alive. Because when they're lying there, nothing matters. What kind of casket? Buy the cheapest casket for me. If you make with bamboo, better. Because you got to go burn. You got to burn it. But, it's a bit of a sensitive topic. You have to decide that. 1 suitcase you're carrying back, that's your karma. That is your karma. In Canada, you have to call the authorities and you must call your pandit. Because your pandit decides. Based on the time of your death, there's something called panchak. Everybody here heard about panchak? Panchak is called the 5 inauspicious planets. 5 inauspicious planets. When a person dies in Panchak, there's a special puja called Panchak Shanti Puja that must be done for the funeral and following that as well. The Pandit will advise you accordingly, the time of death. There are some people that die in Panchak, but they are not cremated in Panchak, depending on how, because it only lasts 5 days. Or there are some people who die outside of Panchak but are cremated in Panchak. It's technical. Safest thing to do the Panchak Puja, either if they're dead in Panchak or cremated in Panchak. Your Pandit will explain to you. Then comes the day of the funeral. Bhagwan Shri Vishnu says you have the funeral. What is offered on the day of the funeral? 6 pindas are offered. In the very traditional, before this world began time, the pindas were offered at 5 different places. Mritak, the place where they died, at a crossroad, different place. A funeral used to take a whole day. But now we do 5 pindas. 5 pindas is to return the body back to the 5 elements, and the 6th pinda is offered at the chitta for the 6th element that is called the mind. Bhagavan says the funeral happens, and at the funeral lots of things go on, and that includes the pindadan. Please, my friends, live a good Hindu life, live a decent Hindu life, so that you can at least understand the importance of Shraddha when your good ones die. The Panditji does the Pindadanam. Sometimes they do Tarpan, sometimes they don't. Tarpan, when you want to learn about Tarpan, come Friday evening. I will explain the whole Tarpan Bidhi. All the 8, 9 stages of Tarpan, I will explain to it. Why you're doing Brahma Trupintam, Vishnu Trupintam, Rudra Trupintam, Prajapati Trupintam, then northern direction, Sanak Trupintam, Sanandan Trupintam, Sanatana Trupintam, then eastern direction, Vashishta Trupintam, Bhrigu Trupintam, then southern direction, Kavyavadandar Trupintam, Idam Tasmai Sodha. Why so many times in the south? I'll explain everything on Friday evening, so that Saturday morning when you're doing Tarpan with us downstairs, because we got to do it downstairs, rain or fall outside, you will understand what you're doing. You'll understand why you're offering these things. So Friday night, I'll explain that. So Bhagavan Vishnu explains the funeral procedure. Now comes the discussion on what to do afterwards and all of that. I won't explain that tonight. It takes a little time. But what is done afterwards? When the cremation occurs, my friends, then afterwards, the people go into a period called Sutak. Sutak means impure, right? Let me tell you what happens. When someone dies, so let's say someone dies, and the immediate family, they are not supposed to hug people, they're not supposed to kiss people, they're not supposed to bow down to nobody, they're not supposed to give anything to anybody, any charity, no dakshina, no donation to the temple. I tell them all to keep your money after the 13th day. Don't hug anybody, don't kiss anybody, don't bow down to anybody. Even me, don't bow down to me if you have lost until the 13th day. Don't bow down to anybody, don't give any dan, don't give any charity, don't give any food, don't do any of that if you are in Sutak. Sutak. What is Sutak? Sutak means a period of impurity. Sutak for different people lasts for different times. In my case, as a living, observing Brahmana, Sutak in my family would last for 10 days, right? Brahmana, people who live Brahmana life, because there's a whole different thing, Sutak lasts for 10 days. Mostly we tell people 13 days, just to get them to do a little bit more penance. Sometimes I want to tell them a whole year you Sutak. But where you go though? Anyways. So in that period of Sutak, you don't do any of that. Why? Because you are carrying, remember this word Sutak. When you hear Sutak, who do you remember? Sutji. You know who's Sutji? The narrator of the Bhagavatam. Sutji was born years after he was Jew. And when he was born, no shaved head, no janay was done. He just walked out of his parents' house and started narrating the Vedas. So because no purity was done to him, he was called Sutji, the impure one. Sutak happens when people die. Sutak happens when a child is born in a home. For 21 days after a child is born, that family goes through an impure period. No dan is given, no, nothing like that is given. Why is that? When you hug somebody, when they're in Sutak, you're giving them all your energy. You're giving them all your sorrows. You're giving them all your impurities. When you give dakshina, or you give dan, or food to somebody, you're giving them energies that is not good. Panditji should never ever accept money until, or dakshina, until the 13th day is done. And when the 13th day puja is done, you know, the people, the Brahman Pandits who observe this work properly, you have to do Gayatri Mantra for 1,000 times. After you accept that dakshina, you go home, bathe next morning, take out your mala by 1000 Gayatri. Do you know why? Because that dakshina that has been given to you, that dakshina, you have accepted the responsibilities of the Atma of that person. It's not a happy occasion. The Brahmana has to say pure. 1000 Gayatri mantras to reset the clock of the Brahman's life. Because we think all they do is eat roti and rot. No, they got a lot of work to do. So a Sutak person, when for 13 days, you do not cook in your home for other people. When you're observing wake, right? You do not cook in your home. If people bring food, because you know wake house these days, people are gone when they left 13 days, I put on weight. Because it is expected that you have to feed people when they come every night. And you have to. People come from work and everything like that. You have to do that. But don't cook from your home. Let people bring the food and then share it out to others. It's okay to share food. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're observing certain rituals and things, we do not eat at wake house. So that's called Sutak, the impure period and the impure one. From that day unto 10 days, some rituals happen and so on. So we'll do the bhajan, and when we come back, we'll talk about what happens after that. The Lord gives us some recommendations. Bole Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Siyavar Ram Bhagavan ki हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे, मन ही मन शर्माऊं, मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे, मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारे आऊं, हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे, मन ही मन शर्माऊं, मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे, मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे तूने मुझको जग में भेजा, निर्मल देकर काया, आकर के संसार में मैंने इसको दाग लगाया, जन्म जन्म की मैली चादर अब क्या दाग चुराऊं, मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे निर्बल वाणी पाकर तुझसे नाम न तेरा गाया, नैन मुंद कर है परमेश्वर, कभी न तुझको ध्याया,
मन वीणा की तारी तूते, अब क्या गीत सुनाऊं। मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारी आऊं। इन पैरों से छल कर तेरे मंदिर कभी न आया। जहाँ जहाँ हो पूजा तेरी, कभी न शीश झुकाया। हे हरि हर मैं हार के आया, अब क्या हार चुराऊं। मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारी आऊं। हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरे, मन ही मन शर्माऊं। मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे, मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे, मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे.
That's an old song everybody know. So मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारी आई. Prabhu, how can I come with a dirty chadar at your doors, Prabhu? Nirmal Vani pakar tujhse naam na tera gaya. You have given me such a pure voice, but I haven't sung your name, O Lord. So it's a reminder that as the Lord has sent us with a pure, glittering body and soul into this world, let us go back to Him shining like an angel as well. Bole Vishnu Bhagwan ki. Garudji is listening. Garudji is enjoying the Katha. I'm sure you're enjoying as well because you're learning some things. So we talk about the funeral. A couple things about the funeral. The 5 pieces of gold that are offered. The 5 pieces of gold are offered pranaya, pana, vyana, udana, samana. They are offered at the 5 entry points of air into the body. And that is in the nostrils, right? The mouth and the genitals. So symbolically, we put it at the nostrils here with a leaf of tulsi, tulsi hema rupamcha, at the mouth, and we put it symbolically at the waist for the lower parts of the body. And why do we do that? Prana, pana, these 5 parts is where air enters and exits the body. And where air enters and exits the body, that is called a seat that allows the body to function, right? There are 5 types of air that we have to have in the body to digest our food, to keep the body warm, to breathe in, to exhale, and to let go. They are essential for the body to function. So when we die, we put the 5 pieces of gold to honor the seat of those airs as well. That's important for us to do. Now, if you have gold teeth, then you don't need to put in gold in the mouth, okay? If you have gold teeth, you don't need to put it in the mouth. You can save yourself a piece there. So we talked about the food. Do your best. Today, unfortunately, I mean, I got to be careful what I say these days because, people are sensitive. You see food sometimes distributed at the viewing home, at the funeral homes. I want to tell you this. When I'm at a viewing or a funeral, I feel bad when I swallow my own spit because I know the impact. I do not ever drink water at a funeral home. I do not ever think about drinking water there. I don't even take my jacket into a funeral home because it's a place where energies, if you're energy sensitive and you're into certain things, you do not want, other thing as well. What colors do you wear to go to a viewing or a funeral? What color should you wear? White, right? The men wear the nice black suit and things. Okay, you didn't know. White is the best color to wear. You know why white? Why white? Reflects exactly. You know when the cricketers are playing test matches, they have to stay 5 days in the sun. They don't wear black. They don't wear red and maroon. Well, the maroon guys didn't even qualify for the World Cup. The West Indies. Our West Indies team, by Omkar, you know the team called the West Indies? They didn't qualify for the World Cup. What are you going to do? So when they play test matches, they don't wear color. They have to wear white because they're in the sun, and the white, of course, reflects off the heat. Energy is very important in our life. When you go to a funeral home, there is no uplifting bhajans, uplifting prayers, anadine, what didn't know, chanka chakra gadadara. The people are crying and so on. So the energies that are there, the depressing energies, you don't want black. It's a color that attracts. You don't want to wear black to attract those energies. You want to wear white that deflects the energy, deflects it. Right? You want it to not be part of you. You want to go home and tomorrow you got to go to work. So you want to deflect the energy. White is more important. So we talked about the funeral, and we talked about the food and things like that. We talk about the hugging. Unfortunately, that is a place where we see the most hugging happens. People do not know these things, so we can't blame people. I know you're educating yourself. The best thing to do is to say Sitaram and fold your hands here. I invite to hug you, put your hand here. So I can't hug you. Say Sitaram, I can't hug you. And we do our best to observe those things. It's a very sensitive situation because you lose someone, you want to be comforted by people, you want to be hugged by people, you want to be kissed by people, but you got to consider people's lives as well. I want to tell you, doing funerals for over 30 years in my life, hundreds of them, the COVID funerals that happened, it's a sad thing, but they were the best funerals because it was quiet, and I've seen this. There's nobody to hug, nobody to cry, nobody to give you their sorrows. And the people who were grieving, they were stable. They were, because they didn't have 500 people to hug. And you have to create energy to do all of that. So that is very difficult as it is. Let us handle it in the right way. Garudji, what he asked, Prabhu, tell me, what is death? He wants to know what is death. And the Lord, Bhagwan Vishnu, Mrityukale Vishegarbham Karayota Turasaya Dharmastum Pitrate Yoso Dharme Mastu Pareshtinah. He said, as the hour of death approaches, as the hour of death approaches, what happens? The attendants of Yamraj comes and they start to press the life out of the body. They start to press the life out of the body. At the time of death comes, depends on how a person dies. When a person is sick, if they're in the hospital and they have visitors, what happens? They will start to see a whole bunch of things. Sometimes you go to the hospital to pray for people. They don't know the people that are standing in front of them. They are talking about people who have died 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Their ancestors have come to visit them. The ancestors have come to visit them. They are seeing things. Sometimes people ride horse. How can I think them see? The attendance of Yama comes, and it is only visible to the person who is dying, unfortunately. What at the time of death? They press the prana, the vital force of life, out of the body. And the soul, it is said, is as big as the thumb. It is big as the thumb. It is Kala, Yamdev, which detaches the soul from the body. It is Kala, Yamdev, that causes the death of a person at the appointed hour without exception. Nobody in this world dies before their time. Nobody in this world dies after their time. Everybody leaves this world when they are supposed to. Because the Lord of Death is called Kala. Kala is time. Time cannot adjust itself. Time cannot adjust itself for anybody. We have to adjust ourselves to time, right? So what happens? When the death comes, then we have to go. Indeed, Garuda, when the death approaches, a certain diseases rise up to the head. The organs grow weak. Vaikyanam indriyanam cha balam jayahatam bharetu chaha. The organs grow weak, and it is like all of a sudden millions of scorpions have stung the person. The person begins to feel the pangs of death at the very hour. At the very hour, his consciousness is replaced by unconsciousness. This breath is pushed by Yama's messenger standing nearby. The person assumes a terrible form, and the soul exits the body. And so it talks about different forms of death. Different forms of death. He who has never spoken falsehood, nor has any partiality in devotion, but believes in God. They believe in God. They die peacefully. They die peacefully. No? Peaceful death. Garud Puran tells us this. Yona kamatra samrebhat. He who does not stray from dharma due to pleasures and wrath and envy, but do what it says and is gently towards others, they have a peaceful death. Peacefully they go. No struggles, no pains. But anyway, I don't like to read this part because people like to compare their death to their own family and thing, but they talk about those who share ignorance, who create darknesses in people's life. Kuta satri bhrishavadi yecha vishwad santayah te moham mrityu paschati tathate yeda nischikaha. The people who preach ignorance, they corrupt people's lives. They put people through darknesses. Those who are false witnesses and give false information. Those who are deceitful, and so on. The ferocious, the foul-mouthed, the ones who have caused injury to people's lives and are wicked. Of course, death is very different to them. Due to terrible sufferings, death becomes different for them. Then Bhagavan spoke on karma. Bhaveda golasya vaikasya bhavyam prani nahamiyaha. Due to their different actions performed in previous births, they wander on this earth in different forms of people. But when death comes, all of you, all of us have to respond. Now Bhagavan Vishnu says, I will tell you about the results of actions. And he talks about different things. The whole point of this result of action is we must all do good things. It is very, very hideous what is written in our scriptures about what happens. You know, a lot of us don't believe in afterlife because we say we have one life to live. We say we have one life to live. Yet we have lived 8,400,000 lives to have this human body. And we say we have one life to live. Don't say that you have one life to live. You don't know what this life is going to become afterwards. But according to our actions, it says this, when a person is a thief, what happens? When they steal, what happens? What they steal, what happens? When they pass wrong messages, they gossip of people's life, they cause troubles in people's life. The point of all of this, just live a good, simple life. Be well with others, do good to others, treat others with respect, and that is what matters in our life. And he describes as well the description of the different types of narak, the different types of narak, the different types of hells, because there is not one. There are different types of it, and according to our karmas, of course, we go into those things. Now what happens? I will conclude tonight with a few shlokas on what the Lord has given us in this life. What has he given us? There's something called the 5 boats of life. What are the 5 boats? Boats of life, boat, like you travel over water.
Pancha prahannanyeva bhavabhe gajatamranam Vishnur ekadashi gita tulsi vipradhine navaha. The Lord has given us 5 boats because life is described as an ocean. Life is described as an ocean. To get across this ocean of life, there are 5 boats that are available for us. What are they? Vishnu, Ekadashi, Gita, Tulasi, Vipra. These are the 5 boats. Vishnu, God. Use God as the boat to get across this life. Use God every day. If you use people, they'll talk about you. Use God. Use God. One time, a gentleman wrote on Facebook how all body are bad because they're using him. They're using him. And you know, Facebook, everybody start comment, don't worry, we're sending hugs and kisses. Don't worry, everything will be fine. That was one of my friends. And I wrote to him. I said, if you're not useful, then people can't use you. If you're not useful, nobody will use. So consider yourself a blessing that you're useful and people can use you. He cut out the post, he took him out. Don't let little things bother you in life, man. Use Bhagwan. Vishnu, one boat. Use Bhagwan. Ekadashi. What is Ekadashi? The 11th day after the full moon and the 11th day after the new moon. It was on Monday. Ekadashi was on Thanksgiving. Everybody, I'm sure you observe some puja and thing. Anyways, fast on Ekadashi. Do not water the tulsi on Ekadashi. Do not pick the leaf on Ekadashi. Do you know why you don't water the tulsi on Ekadashi? Anybody? Because Mother Tulsi is observing fasting for Vishnu. She does not drink even water on Ekadashi. You don't pick her leaf, you don't offer her water. It's pap. Very sinful to do that. 5 boats. Bhagavan, Vishnu, Ekadashi, Gita. Read the Gita, live by the Gita, practice the Gita. The essential of the Gita is to do good to people. Karma is everywhere. Vishnu Ekadashi, Gita, the 4th one. Vishnu Ekadashi Gita, Tulasi, Mother Tulasi. Use the Tulasi to get to God. Why use the Tulasi? Because Tulasi is a living form. Tulasi is the living form of God on this earth. Use the Tulasi. Worship the Tulasi. Pray to the Tulasi. Treat her with respect. And she will bless you. And number 5, Vipra. Vipra means the Brahmanas. Brahmanas. People who live a Brahman life though. Brahmanusya mukhamasit. You know good Brahman people? Hold on to them. Today Panditji read Vishnu Sastranam. I hope you're here to listen. Please come early in the afternoon, in evening if you can, from 6 o'clock or 6:30. Panditji does puja. Tomorrow we have Shrota. Friday we have Shrota. He chants Vishnu Sastranam. And the Vishnu Sastranama, which our Panditji can chant and Bhuvan can chant and our temple priest can chant. Vishnu Sastranama. In the Vishnu Sastranama it is mentioned Brahmana Priya. Bhagavan Vishnu favors the Brahmanas because Brahmanusya mukhamasit. No. I tell you all this, I don't tell you these things a lot, but let me tell you today. Do you know when you do a puja, right? Pandits don't talk about these things a lot because we get blamed because people answer you need dakshina, that's why you talk about it. Whenever you do a puja, in your home, you visit a temple, you come here and you sit down, or whatever it is. If you do not give a Brahmana dakshina, your puja, the blessings of your puja goes to the Brahmana, the Pandit. That's why I'm such a blessed guy. I get everybody's blessings. If you can't afford to give the Panditji a dakshina, you take a flower and you give it to the Panditji. You take a flower and you give it to the Panditji. Dakshina,
But we don't talk about these things because, it was a Brahman want dakshina. You see, when Shraddha is done and you offer dakshina and bhojan to a Brahmana, it's a blessing to do that. It's a very good blessing to do. You got to find worthy Brahmins, though, to give it to them. It's a blessing. You got dala, you can offer a dala, give the Brahman a dala. You can offer 50 cents, give the Brahman. You don't have that, offer a flower to the Brahmana. But you must give him something for the services he performed. This is not a fee. This is not a fee. That is why the Devi took avatar as Dakshina Devi. The mother took avatar as Dakshina Devi so that she can be exchanged. Dakshina cannot be given to anybody else other than a Pandit. You can't give Dakshina to anybody, only to a Pandit. To bless that union of prayers that has happened. Bless that union of prayers that have happened. At the temple here, I've always tell people, don't give me Dakshina, give the temple priest Dakshina. They need it more than me. Anything you want to give Dakshina, give the temple priest Dakshina. Me, I have a job and family, I'm okay. Give the temple priest Dakshina. Saturday coming, everybody come family, if you give him $10, you'll get blessing. It's good enough for you. But it's very, very important. What are the 5 gates? Again, we talked about that the Lord has given us Vishnu, Ekadashi, Gita, Tulasi, and Vipra, the Brahmanas. Use these to transcend your life. Use the help of the Brahmanas, the Tulsi, and God to transcend your life. How important is a Brahmana at the presence of your puja? I'm going to talk now about something called Mahapatra. Everybody here has heard about what Mahapatra is? Auntie Kama, you here? Mahapatra. Okay. Anybody else hear about Mahapatra? Uncle Mayan, you hear Mahapatra? Anybody else? You see, if I was sitting in front here, I could ask a question. Tomorrow, all of you come sit in front here. Everybody come sit in front here. See you do. I mean, am I comb your hair or shave your head? Okay, shave your head. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm asking a question. What's a Mahapatra? Mahapatra. Let me tell you what a Mahapatra is. Whatever you've heard, you've heard. Usually, when somebody dies, they will tell you on the 10th day you need to have a Mahapatra. Let me explain to you who is a Mahapatra, and then you will tell me if you need it or if you have someone who can do the job. In India, in our books, the Mahapatra is, first of all, they have to be a Brahmana. By caste and by life, no other. If they tell you anything that Pandit said because he wants, no. Mahapatra has to be a Brahmana, number one, and they have to live the life of a Brahmana. They have to do Trikal Japam. You know what Trikal Japam is? 3 times of the day they have to chant mantras, Gayatri Japam. So, what is a Mahapatra? A Mahapatra means Mahapatra. Mahapatra means all the Pitris. What happens from the time of death? The Brahmana, his services are retained by the family. And what he does, the Mahapatra, all the Pitris are invoked in him. In him, from the date of death and cremation, all the Pitris are invoked. He does the Japam, he does the Snanam, and he does the pujas. And on the 10th day and on the 13th day, puja is done on the Mahapatra because he assumes the form of the Pitris. All the ancestors are invoked into the Brahmana. When we do yajna outside, we need 5 Brahmans for different things. One, all he do is japam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The second one, read Mool Bhagavat. He read the shlokas of the Bhagavat night and day, he chant. Another one is sit on the Havan Kund. He do Havan. The fourth one is required, the fourth one is required for the Vyas. That's the 4th Brahman. And the 5th Brahman is a spear Brahman. If the fireman's sick, he got to take over. That's why I say 5 Brahmins are important for yajna outside. When death happens, that's the case too. All of them had different rules. But the Mahapatra, they have to, in South India, I've seen this with my eyes. That's why I want you to come and learn these things. In South India, the priests who have assumed all the pitris, on the 13th day, when Trayodash Mashrad is done, they feed him. You know, South Indians, they got not like that. They feed him, give him clothing in abundance. They give him gold, grams of gold. They give him so much to satisfy him. The older folks, when you were little, used to hear, when 13th day come, if the Brahman, if the Pandit na eat, the ancestors na, you know, are happy. It's true to a sense, if they have assumed all the responsibilities. So the Mahapatra assumes all that responsibility, and at the end of it all, he's given, handsomely rewarded with good gifts. Because when they give it to the Mahapatra, who has observed the rules, then the pitris become pleased, and the pitris become happy, and they bless you. This is not a fiction, this is not a made-up thing, this is the true stuff. Mahapatra is important, but I have not seen one yet. That's all I'm saying. I have not seen a Mahapatra who takes on that kind of responsibilities. So that's why these days, the Panditji does all the work. Panditji comes, does the funeral, they come do the 10-day ceremony, do the 13-day ceremony, and to the best of the ability, the Panditji invokes all the pitris, and the Panditji is already a Pitari Brahmano Samokamasi. They eat for the Lord, they drink for the Lord, they speak for the Lord, they sing for the Lord. So whatever you give them, the Lord will bless you. That is who a Mahapatra is. Now, what I'm not doing here, I'm not bad-mouthing anybody who claims to be a Mahapatra. Please, I will never do that. I will never bad-mouth another Pandit. In fact, the other night, over the last couple of weeks, we have been to so many viewings, and a lot of our Pandit brothers were there and were gaffing. We have a little ritual after the viewing. Just like people go other places after the funeral, we go for coffee. So we're talking sometimes. Last week, Tuesday night, I came home, I don't know what time, 12 o'clock. I left. Okay, we're having coffee, we're talking, we're talking. And we're talking about all these beautiful things, about the responsibility of a priest in the life of a Hindu. It's a very, very important role a Panditji has in the life of a Hindu. That's a Mahapatra, what a Mahapatra is. So, and one of the things I always tell people, if you don't like a Panditji or you don't like somebody, don't go spread bad things about their name and tell them they're a Harkati and them a this and that. No, man. You don't like somebody, Ram, whatever it is. But don't spread rumors and false things about people. So today what we have talked about, we talked about the funeral ceremony. When somebody dies, some of the basic things we need to do. How the funeral is observed, you have to practice. What is the term I use? When you're unclean, when you're impure, what is that called? Sutak. Sutak is the impurity period that lasts for about 13 days. 13 days is good, long, Sutak. Then we talked about what are some of the things you don't embrace people, bow to them, and all that until your Sutak is finished. We talk about the 5 boats that are given to us. We talked about Mahapatra. You at least know what is a Mahapatra today. You're called to deal with Mahapatra, and so on. When you come tomorrow, we'll talk about what happens after the cremation. We'll talk about when do you count. You got to start counting from people dead or when people cremate. And even if you count from when they cremate, what is that, the day of, or what constitutes a day? So we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about 12-day, 13-day. We'll talk about the journey of the soul after Yamdev. And I will explain to you the importance of pindas, how important they are. And when your 13 days finish, it's not done. You got a whole year to observe different things. We'll talk about all that tomorrow. We'll talk about the value of dan, what you should give, right? Our West Indian community, we hear a lot about gold cow, umbrella, slippers, all these kind of things, they're all important, right? But I would like somebody to give me a slippers when I can wear it. You understand? I like somebody to give me an umbrella when it is raining. Because when I'm in the casket, there's nothing I can do with it. I like you to give me a blanket. Winter is coming up, so I can, cover up. Because when I die, the soul, nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka. The soul cannot be burned, cut, drenched with water, blown away by the wind. Soul doesn't need a blanket. So we'll talk about all that tomorrow, and with a pure intent for you to learn something. That's all. For you to learn something and for you to educate yourself. We'll have all of those discussions tomorrow, and then when we come on Friday, I will explain to you the entire Tarpan Bidhi. But somebody asked me today, Panditji, what should we say? And this is how we'll end off tonight. What should we say when we're offering Tarpan or Tilanjali at home? Well, number one, if you don't know to say anything, don't say anything. Because if you don't know to say anything, don't say anything. Because if you say the wrong thing, you could be in more trouble than you are. Let me explain to you very quickly, and then we'll do RT. So what happens is that if you take your bank card, right, and you put it in the machine, and you type in the wrong code, right, the machine will tell you da-da-da. Type in the wrong code again, machine tell you wrong code. If you keep typing in the wrong code, the machine will eat the bank card. Understand? That's one. If you go online and you type in your password and password not work, you type in your password again after so many times, you're locked out. You can't get it. It is very important to use the right code. And that's why we leave it to the pundits, learned pundits, to give you the right code to access the Pitris, to access Bhagwan, and so on. But in your own humble way, if you'd like to do Tarpan, if you don't know what to say, don't do anything. Take water in a thali, place some black till inside, or take milk in a thali, place some black till inside, and place it outside of your home, or whatever your conditions are. Place it somewhere outside, and just turn to the south. Call your parents' name, or whoever have passed away. Mother and father, it's Pitripaksh. I know you're gone. Please accept my prayers. I pray that your Atma attain mukti. That's one, if you know nothing. If you want to do something, you can call their name and say, Tripyantam. You can remember by saying trip. Everybody say trip. Trip, not trip. Trip. Because I don't want anybody tripping. Trip is when you put your tongue between your teeth. And you start to say trip. That's the first one. And yantam. Trip yantam. Trip yantam is equivalent to saying samarpayami for God. So you call your names and you say trip yantam. Mata name trip yantam. Father name, husband name, brother name. Trip yantam. You can look back at the recording and figure it out. If you would like to say something. Beyond that, I say just pray from your mind. Don't do any convoluted Tarpan Bidhi, because if you go on Facebook today, all sorts of manuals are there. Pandits are posting all sorts of manuals. I see one Panditji put Tarpan to the western direction. Maybe he has a source for it. Don't confuse yourself with all these mantras and all these manuals. Tarpan is a very detailed process that only people who have been trained in it can do. But you are not. So the most simple thing you can do, water in the thali, black till, or milk in the thali, black till, place it outside, put a flower, say some prayers on your own, give charity, give food to people, go to the shelter, wherever it is, give some food, give some charity, give some dan, whatever it is. Dan is very important as well in this time. And you don't need any special mantras for that. Say your own thing. The temple offers a very beautiful service to the community. costs a little fee because everything costs money these days. You know, long ago we used to buy, not long ago, about a year and a half ago, we used to buy a whole bag of Bilpat like this, leaf, for $2.50. Big leaf pack like $2.50. Now it's $10. So how much 100% is increased to? You calculate that. So we have to charge things and we got to burn corn and so on. But the mandir offer a beautiful service on Saturday morning, which is Amavasya, for you to come and sit under the guidance of a priest and do pindadan. Pindadan, offer 3 pindas to the various people. You'll offer tarpan as well for your ancestors. You offer yamstuti. It's beautiful. Come on out and do it under the guidance of us, and let's do something beautiful. At the end of it, we'll cook some bhojan and thing. If people want to contribute to those things, you can do that. We'll do a little Gita Path, a little Havan as well. We'll make it nice. But Amavasya is the most auspicious day in Pitru Paksh to do that. So you have a home remedy, which is very simple. And if you want to do Tripyantam, good. If you're not accustomed to Sanskrit, please don't try anything else because you're going to confuse yourself. And it's better to do nothing than to make mistakes like that. You don't want that stuff in your life. That's one. So that's how you can do a home remedy, simple offering in your own home at your own convenience. Or not visit any temple on Amavasya, the priest will help you to do something at least. May Bhagavan bless all of you, and may we continue to learn and to learn the right way every single day. Bole Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. Bole Shankar Bhagavan ki jai. Based on our discussion today, is there any question that anybody has? Based on what we've done today, do you have any questions on the funeral or anything like that that you need some clarification on? Anything that you have seen and you're confused or you need some help on? This is the time to do it. Put up your hand or just call out your question. Anybody has any question? Okay, good. So let me ask you a question then. The person who performed the funeral ceremony, right? So let's say my father died and I'm performing the funeral ceremony. Where do I have to sleep after the cremation is done? Huh? Where do I have to sleep? On the hard floor? Where? On my bed. Correct. I'm trying to cancel out the myths that we are hearing. People will tell you have to sleep on the floor for 13 days. Good luck. Okay, can I go outside? Can I go to work after the cremation? Deshriti, you can, of course. Because some people will tell you you can't go outside for 13 days. You better have a good boss. Or you better be mentally stable. You can. As a matter of fact, it's good to go out and, not for fun, but to relax yourself mentally. Now, why is it that we have the myth that the person had to sleep on the floor where the casket was or the coffin was for 13 days? It's a funny story, I'll tell you. Because long ago, when somebody died, you all know this in Guyana and so on, you know where the body was for the time until the funeral? Inside the house. Inside the house. And when we were little, we would keep awake, we got to knock dolak and sing. You know where you sit down? You sit down next to the body. The dead person is here, you sit down there, go Jai Krishna Hare, Sri Krishna Hare, and Dukyoko Dokadur Kare. And you know what has happened sometimes? They have an ice box and they have a bakey in front, right? And the water run in the bakey. And then at the middle of your wake, they will come empty of the water. We used to sit there. Now let me ask you a question. When you think the cremation occurs and everything, the casket was sitting there for 2-3 days. The dead person was sitting there for 2-3 days. neighbors, friends, and family come from far. All and sleep on the floor, everywhere else, in the bedroom, everything else. Who you think want to sleep there? Who you think want to sleep there? Where that person was? So they put it on the poor boy who do the cremation. Say, hey, you come here. You come. You gotta sleep here. You understand? You gotta sleep. You gotta sleep here. You did that. When Uncle Sornat been there. I remember that. Put the poor man on a hard floor for sleep. And they had polished floor back home. They got carpet and thing. So you sleep there now, and then after 13 days, Shroud done and so, you call the Pandit and say, Pandit, something to do right. What? Pandit, my whole body you pain me. Of course you fool, because you've been sleeping on the hard floor. I'm saying, don't subscribe to these things. So, where can you go? You can go to work. You can go outside. You can go do shopping, whatever. And then, of course, the other thing, the myth. We go over time, but that's all right. We get food afterwards. What do you do from that time the person died to the next year? Panditji, we can't go pray. We can't do no hawan. We can't do no puja. We can't offer parsad. We can't come at Janamashmi. We can't come at Shivratri. We can't do this. We can't do that. So all the good things you can do. But what can you do? No, hold on. I'll give you the right answer. What can you do? You can go to reception. You can go to Thanksgiving dinner. You can go to parties. You can go on vacations. You can drink alcohol. You can eat meat. You can do all those things, but you can't pray. Right? You can do everything that you're not supposed to do in the year. Ulta. You think about ulta, right? That is the myth. I'm telling you the myth. The myth is you can't pray, you can't do this, you can't. What you shouldn't do is you shouldn't you can't do jandiyans on your home because that's shubham, that's mangalam. But what you shouldn't do is all the things that I told you we're doing, which is the parties, the whole year you're supposed to live a life of prayers. Because tomorrow I'll tell you the journey of the soul. You should live a life of prayers. That is the time when you should come more to the mandir. For the Bhagavad Katha, people can't come to Bhagavad. I said, this is the time for you to come to Bhagavad. Because the more prayers you do, the more the Atma attains mukti. The more you do. So that is another myth. 3 myths tonight where you should sleep in your bed. Can you go outside? Of course. And can you pray? You should pray more when somebody dies. Prem se bolo Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai Umapati Mahadeva ki. We will go straight into Aarti, and we'll invite all of you back to come. If you want to sponsor virtually, please sponsor virtually. The Katha, tomorrow's Katha, and Friday's Katha. And please, we'll see all of you on Saturday morning as well. Anybody bought Parsad to offer? Anybody bought Prasad? Okay, I'll sing 2 lines of a bhajan. I will take 5 minutes to offer your prasadam. Bole Shankar Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai, Pavan Sut Hanuman ki jai, Siya Bhaj Ram Chandra ki jai. We'll sing a bhajan now called Umar Ka Panchi. These bhajans are a little related to what we're talking about here and so on. If you don't have Parsad, if you just want to go take the darshan of Bhagwan, please go do so now on the altar.
उमर कपंची उड़ता जाता, क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे। उमर कपंची उड़ता जाता, क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे। उमर कपंची उड़ता जाता, क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे। किसे पता है कल क्या होगा, पता नहीं किस पल क्या होगा। किसे पता है कल क्या होगा, पता नहीं किस पल क्या होगा। काल चक्र चलता मदमाता, क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे। उमर कपंची उड़ता जाता, क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे। आज कहें कल नाम रतूंगा, कल आए फिर कल जप दूंगा। आज कहें कल नाम रतूंगा, कल आए फिर कल जप लूंगा। बीता कल कभी लौट ना आता, क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे। उमर कपंची उड़ता जाता, क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे। क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे। क्यों प्राणी प्रभु नाम न गाता रे।
Let's all please stand for Aarti.
यानि कानि च पापानि।
Give Pariji a hand for Lighty Thari and so on.
यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मांतर कृतानि च तानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्तु प्रदक्षिणां पदे पदे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, धन संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहु मैं किसकी, स्वामी शरण गहु मैं किसकी। तुम बिन और न दूजा, प्रभु बिन और न दूजा, आश करूं जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूरन परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी, स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी। पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता, स्वामी तुम पालन करता। मैं मूरख खल कामी, मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति, स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विध मिलो दया में, किस विध मिलो दया में, तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, ठाकुर तुम मेरे, स्वामी रक्षक तुम मेरे। अपने हाथ उठावो, अपने शरण लगावो, द्वार परा तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटावो, पाप हरो देवा, स्वामी कष्ट हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ावो, श्रद्धा प्रेम बढ़ावो, संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मामदेव देव। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं, संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं, सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे, भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा, गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे। ओम द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगुं, पृथिवी शान्तिरापाः, औषधयः शान्तिः, वनस्पतयः शान्तिः, विश्वदेव शान्तिः, ब्रह्मा शान्तिः, सर्वगुं शान्ति शान्तिरेव। शांति सामा शांति रेधे सुशांतिर्भवतु। ओम शांति शांति। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजा मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षो मंगलाय तनु हरि। बोले गणपति भगवान की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, सियावर रामचंद्र की, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, श्री उमापति महादेव की, जगदम्बिका माता की, गंगा मैया की, श्री भारत माता की, गौ माता की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की, सबको ये जय जय सीताराम।
Thank you all very much. Aarti will be shared, prasad at the door, and please go downstairs. There's bhojan prepared for everybody. Hope to see all of you tomorrow. If you'd like to come early to listen to the Vishnu Sahasranamam, it starts at 6 p.m. with puja. It's very nicely done. Thank you.